プレイステーション
Understand the concept of love. Understand the concept of love. Understand the concept of love.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Frameloss Episode 11. This is 11. This is our E3 show. We just did one Friday after coming back from a very long break. We gave you our predictions. How did you like E3? Let's just jump right into it. We got a long show tonight. We're probably going to go for 2 hours because there's a lot to talk about.
I was happy. I was happy with the show. After being not happy last year, it was like a full 180.
Yeah. Do you think that's because just last year was more about the consoles themselves, and this year was like, this is what you're going to be playing?
I don't think so, because I was super excited for the consoles. It just, this year had so many things that I was excited for, combined with like exclusive things we didn't know about, surprises, stuff like that.
Yeah, there was a decent amount of exclusive stuff I didn't know about.
Especially like the Metal Gear Solid trailer you just showed. I didn't know we were gonna see that.
Yeah, I mean, I knew we were gonna see Metal Gear in some form. I was really more hoping for gameplay, but it's Hideo Kojima and he doesn't disappoint me, so I'm really happy with what I got.
I am at the point where I don't expect gameplay anymore because it's not. Gameplay is so secondary to Metal Gear at this point.
I can kind of see that.
Like, it's all about how
it's all about the story.
Crazy they're. Yeah, exactly. He's wiping ashes all over his face.
Yeah, whose ashes are those? I don't know.
They're probably his ashes.
Maybe he died and then he
fighting at Big Shell. It's crazy.
It's not Big Shell.
It's super
Mother
Big Shell.
Base.
No, Big Shell is Mother Base. That's
no,
the same
not.
thing. Yeah, Naked Snake and Big Boss are the same person.
Okay, so basically, I have like 20 pages of notes from the show. I watched all the conferences. I took notes on everything they showed. We have a lot to go over. I have a list, and we're going to go through in order of what they showed. So we're going to start with Microsoft since they were the first ones up on Monday. They opened with Call of Duty. I thought it looked decent. Like, it was mostly what I expected from Call of Duty. Like, it wasn't anything new to me.
Yeah, it's like weirdly too futuristic and not futuristic enough at the same time.
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe it, but
the trailer took place in Korea, which I like Korea, so I was pumped for that. They dropped down in like weird, like you were saying, like futuristic. Like they dropped down in these weird like pod things, and then there were like spider tanks walking around.
Yeah, they had like Iron Man suits.
Personally, I don't care at all about the single player for this game. I really wanted to see what changes they made to the multiplayer. And since it's a yearly franchise, I was hoping they would show multiplayer for it, which they didn't.
It probably means they changed nothing, just like every year.
Yep. It's possible.
I heard this year you can prestige.
It's a new feature.
Yeah.
So after Call of Duty, they jumped in with Forza Horizon 2. I thought the graphics looked good for it.
Looks so good. Forza Horizon is this. I'm of two minds on it because Forza has always been to me this sim, not super sim, but pretty realistic racing game.
I don't know really anything about Forza Horizon. I was not a big Xbox guy for a while, so I never played Forza Horizon. So I don't even know like what's different about that than Forza.
It's more arcadey. The first Forza Horizon it's a story-based game, first of all. It's not like Forza is where you're just doing races and stuff. It's based around the story of you as a driver being at this like driving festival in Colorado, and you're driving around doing all these races, getting points to put yourself up in the rankings.
Okay.
But its big appeal was that it's like an open-world driving game. It's like the GTA of driving games.
See, I'm all for that.
Yeah, it's
I like
really,
my
really
racers
nice.
more open world and less sim.
Yep.
Not sim, but less like sanctioned courses.
Yeah, and that's it. Due to the fact that they chose to go that direction with it, it's more forgiving, it's less realistic than Forza is, which is a good thing for like a game in general. I feel like it's a really good game.
Yep.
It's just it was a departure from what people were expecting from Forza at the time.
Okay.
Now that I've like played it a bunch and have had time to accept it, it's just its own franchise within the Forza umbrella. It's still really good, really high detail game. It's just not as hardcore as Forza, which I'm fine with.
Also, real quick, I forgot to mention that the DLC for Call of Duty is sticking with Xbox tradition, where first to Xbox for DLC content, which I don't think it's a good business practice, but
It's a great business practice.
I mean, I don't care enough for most games to that's gonna like be like, well, now I'm gonna get that system because I want DLC first.
No, but people who are super into Call of Duty will.
Yeah, I guess.
'Cause that's the only stuff they add to those
Yeah.
games.
So with Forza Horizon announcement, they also announced the Forza 5 free track, which is the Nürburgring.
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 It's awesome. It's this iconic racetrack out in Germany. It's like 17 miles long. It's technically a highway out there. Like you can drive on it as anybody, but it's also used as this track. And it's basically a staple of the Forza and Gran Turismo and Project Cars and like all those games have it, will have it. It's a very iconic racetrack.
I was expecting the announcement. I wasn't expecting the track to be free.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
Free and immediately available.
Yep. Yeah.
Those were both really cool announcements to hear. I still have to get an Xbox One and play Forza. I played it at PAX, and it was awesome, but I just haven't gotten around to buying one.
Yeah. So after Forza, they showed Evolve. Just a real quick trailer showing the new monster, which is the Kraken. I thought the new monster looked really cool. They did highlight the new heroes a bit in the game, which they announced previously. But I was really excited to see the new monster because I'm really excited for that game.
Yeah, it's going to be a good game. I am not always super into squad-based multiplayer like that, but I will give it a shot. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. So then they showed Assassin's Creed Unity, which, again, it was something that we all knew was going to be there.
Yeah.
I thought the 4-player co-op was really cool looking, but at the same time, I'm not an Assassin's Creed fan, so it wasn't enough to be like, that's something I'm going to buy this year.
Yeah, I don't really get the choice to make it 4-player co-op. It's not a game that scales difficulty in a way I could see that working correctly. Like, it's not...
Yeah.
I just don't understand difficulty-wise how it's going to either make the game too hard for single player or too easy for multiplayer. I am an Assassin's Creed fan to an extent, but I'm not that excited about this game. They keep picking time periods that are more and more advanced, and that's not, in my opinion, what people want to see. So
I mean, I like the choice of the French Revolution. I think that's a really good choice. But yeah, like where do they go from there?
Yeah, I mean, we just got a Revolution game. We just got the Revolution.
We did.
Like, I don't know. It's just there's a ton of time to go back. You know, do a samurai game, do like a Egyptian slave game, do Africa. You know, do like, you know, the Incans. I don't know. There's tons of civilizations. There's tons of time periods, and they consistently
do you feel
stick
like they're
with
playing
these,
it
like
like
safe
kind of
ones.
safe?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, that's fair. Do you know? I don't know if that was announced actually for this year or not.
I don't think they made an announcement, but I wouldn't be surprised to see it this year, given how playable it was.
Yeah, it was really playable, and they had a really cool trailer for, like a cinematic trailer with Lordy doing the singing. I will give Assassin's Creed that, like, their trailers and their music selection really, like, they hook me into the point where I'm like almost gonna buy it, and then I realize it's Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, well, that's because they want to be movies ultimately.
Yep.
They wish they weren't games.
Wow, we're going right into another game I don't care about. Dragon Age Inquisition. They showed the trailer for that.
I thought this looked cool. I have the other Dragon Ages. I haven't played them, but not for any reason of me not liking the game or anything. I'm just so backlogged constantly.
Yeah.
But I thought it looked cool. I don't like the idea of stopping time. That feels a little cheap, but...
I mean, that's why I don't play it. Like, I don't like the combat system, like with the pause and play combat and tactical aspect of it. But yeah, I mean, it looked cool. People like those games. A game I'm actually excited for. Next one was Sunset Overdrive. I was really hyped for this trailer. At first, it opened. It was kind of funny. It was this really generic shooter with a guy hiding behind a box. I feel like that whole thing was just a dig at like Counter-Strike and Call of Duty. Everything looked super bland, super washed out gray and green colors. And then it pans to this door that says Insomniac on it. The guy kicks the door open. Room's full of color. He comes in, kills everyone. And he turns to the guy and he's like, "Your crates are protected." And like kind of walks out. I really like the attitude of this game. It feels very different than a lot of what's out in the market today.
It feels fun.
Yeah, it looks like Jet Set Radio with a gun.
Yep.
And then they showed a really long gameplay video of it, like a walkthrough, showing a level where they're going to like this carnival and they have to get to the Ferris wheel. They fought a boss. I thought the boss looked awesome, and I loved how he followed you, like climbing over the carnival stuff. I would assume he would like go around, but like he gets real like into the thick of things.
Yeah, it's good to see that games so early on are taking advantage of the technology in these systems to make them more ambitious and more technically sound from a, not necessarily from a graphics standpoint, but from, the AI.
Yeah. When they first announced this game a while ago, I was really excited for it because Insomniac makes really great games. They're like the Ratchet and Clank team, and this is their first outing not on the PlayStation, and I was really interested in seeing it. I love how they're keeping that like Insomniac feel where they got really interesting weapons. The game's really colorful. When you look at the backgrounds, everything's moving, like everything has like its own personality. Like there's stuff way in the distance that you can see like moving and twiddling around. They really know how to make, like they're a really good studio.
I think that at the time I didn't necessarily realize it or anything, but the way Infamous works, the new Infamous game, where everything is destructible, the whole environment is manipulatable, that's going to be more standard than I think I realized. Because this game looked like everything could be, hit
like
in the
there
background.
Didn't seem to be any boundaries.
Yeah, exactly.
But like even Ratchet and Clank looks like that. Like everything in the background looks like it's something you can go to, but a lot of it isn't.
Yeah.
But they do a really good job of masking it.
Yep.
Yeah, so really excited for Sunset Overdrive. God, the next one, I really thought this was a personal attack on me. It was the Super Ultra Dead Rising 3 Arcade Remix Alpha Ultra EX trailer. It's Dead Rising DLC with all the Street Fighter and Capcom like costumes to be used in the game.
It's celebrating the 31st anniversary of Capcom.
Yeah, there's giant bosses of like M. Bison like in the background spawning. I really hated it.
It was so good.
I don't like Dead Rising. Like it's a Capcom franchise I wish would go away. I got really excited at the beginning when I thought it was gonna be Street Fighter related, but
that was the best. That was. I don't think I've ever been happier about an announcement that affects me like 0% than I was about that.
Everyone who was watching that instantly was just like, wow, Kyle's going to hate this. So they showed that. Then they showed Dance Central. They showed that with Fantasia, and this was where like the event started to get weird for me because a lot of developers just started saying names of games, not showing anything, and then just walking off stage.
Yeah, they would like come out and be like, "We're doing this game," and people would clap, and they'd be like, "Thanks."
Yep, and we'll definitely talk about that more when it gets to bigger games that are affected by this. So, Fantasia, they came out, they talked about Fantasia. They said they were really excited to work on it. They just had the logo on the screen. Then they were like, and we're also excited about Dance Central Spotlight, which is a DLC game. And then they showed a little bit of footage for that, and then they just walked away.
Yep, and that was it from Harmonix for the entire event.
Yeah, that was it. I was really expecting to see them at the Sony conference with maybe Amplitude, like maybe just something early, especially with the way everything was going, where they weren't showing footage. They could have just came out and been like, "Hey, we're happy with like the Kickstarter worked."
Yeah, just make an announcement for a loose time frame. Just say next year this game will be out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was disappointing. I was hoping for, not expecting, but hoping for a new Rock Band game maybe, and just I got nothing.
I definitely wasn't expecting a new Rock Band, but
yeah,
I can see where you would want it to come.
Exactly.
Then they moved right into Fable Legends, where they had a pretty decent length walkthrough of it.
Yeah, I'm so underwhelmed by Fable at this point.
Yeah, this is another game I've never been a big Fable fan. And this game just looked like you said it when we were talking about it when it was happening. It looks like just D&D.
Yeah,
one person can be the DM or the evil guy, and he can set up like the arena and everything and make bad stuff happen to everybody else, and everyone else has to deal with it and like move through it. It's a cool concept, but
it just seems like
it was
D&D the game, and they just tacked the Fable IP onto it for whatever reason.
And I'm pretty burnt out on that whole.
Yeah, at this point, I don't even understand why it's Fable, because it doesn't sound like there's going to be all those choices and stuff to make.
Yeah. They showed the 4 classes that you could be, and they each have their own little quirky like quips and silly things they say.
Wore the wrong underwear today.
Yep. He did.
So awful.
Yeah. We haven't got I was pumped about Forza. Towards the end of this, they start getting into some games I actually cared about.
They did not start. They Oreo'd it.
Yeah.
There's a good outside. Middle was like, ugh.
Then they showed Project Spark, which they've shown before. They didn't really show much new on it. I felt like a lot of it was I was in the beta. I play. I know a lot about this. So yeah, I don't know why they showed so long. I felt like they went pretty long on Project Spark too.
I think it's just their big thing. They were hyping it a lot at PAX too.
Yeah.
So I think they're just really into the idea of it, and they want it to do well.
Yeah.
The big
I want it to do well because I like playing the beta. I loved playing people's created games. I thought there was some really creative stuff in there.
Yeah. The big announcement from the Project Spark thing, though, was the inclusion of Conquer at the end.
Yeah, and from what it seemed like, an entire Conquer's game being made in Project Spark, which I'm really excited to see how that goes because I really liked Conquer. That
was strangely Rare's only appearance, I believe.
Yep.
So I thought I was let down by that the only Microsoft owns them, I guess. I forgot that.
Yeah.
And I'm still used to them being multi-platform back in the day.
So then we got the, not surprisingly at all, Halo announcement. What was announced was kind of surprising because I wasn't expecting that, but I knew Halo was coming at some point in the event. They announced the Halo Master Collection.
This looks really cool, I think, and I'm not even a big Halo fan, but
I'm not a huge Halo fan either, but it's Halo 1 through 4. I think all of them are redone, or is it just Halo 2?
I think it's all of them.
Okay. So, all of them redone. It's including all, 100-plus multiplayer maps for each game, what they go with. Halo 2, they really put an emphasis on Halo 2 and how they work the multiplayer and all the effort they went into on that. They were making a big deal about Halo 2.
I guess people really like the Halo 2 multiplayer.
Yeah, Halo 2 multiplayer was really the only one I got into, so I'm going to definitely say it was the best. I think Halo multiplayer is kind of... I'm not a huge fan of it. It's too floaty. The gravity is just too much for me. I like my games, super fast. This game's just I'm going to jump. Okay, I landed.
Yeah, I have never been huge into Halo's multiplayer because it's so floaty, so slidey.
Yeah.
But people liked it, and
yeah, I'm going to buy it because I have an Xbox and I need more games. And I'll definitely play through the stories again. The stories are good.
Yeah, I never played Halo 4, but Halo 1 through 3. Those were a very cohesive and a very well-told story, all things considered.
Yeah. The collection also comes with the Halo mini-series that they're doing. on Xbox Live TV or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
And it also comes with the Halo 5 beta. So I thought that was pretty big, especially because of something they announced later, which I would have assumed would have come with the Halo beta, just for a little nostalgia / like, haha, that's funny.
That was like immediately the first thing I thought of. But we'll get to that later on. But that definitely occurred to me.
Then Phil Spencer came out and he like did his little stupid walk and his dumb face. He has the most punchable face in like, the gaming industry.
I don't even get it. I don't even understand.
I can't stand Phil Spencer. He like trudges out and he's wearing a Limbo shirt and he's like standing like all broed out.
Like he likes Limbo.
And so they showed the Inside trailer, which I thought looked really good.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting it, so I didn't know what it was at first. But it looks cool. Xbox really likes indie games, and they like to do everything they can with developers that started as indie devs, like the people who made Limbo. Who I guess, I mean, technically they're still indie, I guess, but they're huge now. So
yeah. At what point do you go from indie to not indie? Like, where's that like line?
Yeah,
is it,
that's
like,
a good.
Is it staff or like money made? Like, where do you?
I don't know. I don't know where. I can't even answer that.
Yeah.
I guess it would mean a developer with no publisher also?
Yeah.
Or maybe a developer that publishes their own? I don't know.
So yeah, Inside looked good. Then one of the big announcements that no one really saw coming, we kind of had...
Except for Tim.
Yep. Rise of the Tomb Raider, which is an awful name.
That's the worst title for a game.
I really don't like the name. I like what the game looks like. I love the new reboot.
Are they just not allowed to call it Tomb Raider 2? Like, is that
I don't know.
against the rules or so? I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, this is a prequel of sorts. Is it a prequel to the prequel?
No,
reboot?
I thought it was a pre-sequel.
No, that's Borderlands.
Yeah, I thought it happened after because the guy was talking to her in the trailer. The like psychiatrist or whatever was like, "Oh, people often suffer, blah blah blah."
Yeah, I don't know. I just know that I really liked the first one, so I'm excited for this one.
I heard she dies like really gruesomely.
Probably. So that they didn't show any gameplay. They just full hype trailer. It was really good. I liked it.
Yeah, I'll probably play it if you get it. If you don't, it probably won't be high on my list. But
yeah. Then they showed the Witcher Griffin Hunt demo, which I thought looked beautiful.
Yeah, the Witcher is a series that I was not big on. The Witcher 1 was not.
The Witcher 1 is not the best thing ever.
I would go so far as to say that The Witcher 1 is bad. I didn't like it. The load times were awful. The story was hack. It was just not a great game. The Witcher 2, way better. So weird how much better it was. I don't even understand it.
Yeah, I don't like how The Witcher 2 was less about witching and more about like politics in like the society he's in.
Yeah, I agree. But this one seems to be a lot about witching.
Yeah, with the Griffin Hunt like gameplay footage, it definitely looks like they're changing that. I loved too like how subtle the like he's on a hunt to find this griffin, and like he sees it like there's like you can like use your witching senses and there's like you can follow like this blood trail, and while he's doing that, like he sees these bandits and he's just like, oh crap, like they're destroying this like house, and he like runs over, kills the bandits. And this lady's like, hey, like, help me with my problems. It's just really seamless how that happened.
Yeah.
That I really like that.
I like the idea that doing that affects the game later also.
Yes. Yeah, like, the whole time I was wondering, I was just like, if he doesn't help her now, like, if he comes back, is her house just going to be, like, burned down and she's just going to be, like, dead? Because they came back when you weren't here?
Yeah, yeah, I have no idea. There's a lot that can be done with it in terms of like how it could play out, and it's just we have to see how they did it. Any sort of world that's like dynamically affected by the player I like, and I think this is going to be the first console generation that will really be able to take advantage of that storytelling method, previously, you know, with games like Mass Effect and Dragon's Age and
Yeah.
Skyrim and stuff, how it's like, oh, what you do affects what you do. It's like, yeah, you could choose path A or path B, and that'll come back. This looks like it's going to be a real, you know, you do things, people react to them, fully reactive gameplay.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this one. Then we had Phantom Dust, which was a remake of an older Xbox game, which I don't
remember.
Yeah, I don't remember that game.
Yeah,
The whole time I was just like, is this a remake of that game that like was kind of Metroid-y, but it wasn't? And then they said it was just that was the game. I had no idea what this was.
Yeah, I have never heard of it. I didn't.
The character models looked decent. Like I liked them.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. I just didn't know it was a series in the first place, let alone a series that's going to be rebooted.
Then they showed The Division, which they showed a lot of gameplay, which I really liked. So Division is one of those games where I'm just fully in love with. I want that game so bad. But after Watch Dogs, I'm like, can Ubisoft even do this? That game looks so good, like graphically.
Yeah.
And so like intensive, like physics wise. Like, can they even pull that off now?
Watch Dogs was such a letdown, and it really has soured me on Ubisoft.
Yeah.
Like, I have no confidence in them as a studio at this point.
But that gameplay looked so good.
But I mean, it's just going to be. It's going to be a Ubisoft game, and I hate saying that.
To be fair, Watch Dogs wasn't on the engine that they're doing this game with, so maybe that's the problem. I don't know. I know The Division is in the Snowdrop engine. Watch Dogs was not in the Snowdrop engine. Watch Dogs, yes, was a huge letdown, but God, I want this game to be what they're showing.
What Watch Dogs taught me was that Ubisoft suffers from a stylistic issue. It's not just that their franchises might be getting stale, it's that they make the same game and just slap different things onto it.
You're
so no matter
referring
how
to that review, that Ubisoft review.
that summed it up better than anything I could have. It feels like, is The Division going to be gorgeous? Absolutely. It's going to be a gorgeous game. It's going to play awesome. Is it going to have just a bunch of side missions that are meaningless and you're going to be super repetitive in your actions? Probably. That's what it feels like.
I think it's going to be the opposite. I think the gameplay is going to be solid because it looks, and what it looks like is DayZ, just not in the woods and without a huge zombie threat. It looks like it's going to be very PvP oriented. And so missions right. I could care less about at that point. I just want to deal with other players.
I hope you're right.
I want them to pull off when he's walking and he bumps the door and he kind of puts his hand out and closes the cop door. That's fucking impressive.
Yeah, that's
the way
really...
that looks. Everything about that game looks gorgeous. I don't think they can pull it off.
I got a text message from my friend Chris watching the show. Indie is only indie if it's self-funded by a non-corporate entity. So I think that's the sticking point. It's non-corporate. So probably still indie unless Microsoft's paying for.
I don't know if I 100% I know that's probably the technical definition. I just don't like it. Because I don't like how it's just we're just raking in tons of cash but we're still independent.
Yeah, I mean Notch or Mojang or whatever you call them.
Yeah, I wouldn't consider Minecraft an independent Mojang an independent studio at this point.
Yeah, they are though technically.
Yeah, I guess. Then Scalebound. Let's talk about Scalebound. Scalebound
was Scalebound announced before E3 at all?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I hadn't heard about it at all until E3.
Yeah, and that is a new Platinum Games. So the second they showed the Platinum logo, I was already texting people I don't know what this is, but I'm buying it. I don't care. They haven't let me down yet. Platinum makes really over the top, just crazy games with just silly gameplay that I just eat up. It's like a B movie with gaming.
Yeah, it looked. Platinum Games, first of all, they're really good at what they do.
Yeah.
I try not to be a studio fanboy for too many studios, but They are really, really good.
Yeah. It was like a kid with headphones, and he had a sword, and he was fighting these two giant monsters in the woods. Then the dragon, like, swoops in, and, like, he gets this, like, crazy scale armor, and he's, like, riding the dragon. This big Hydra appears. It definitely looks over the top. It looks like a Platinum Games title. It's Xbox One exclusive. Like, so far there have been, like, 3 games that are Xbox Live exclusive that I'm glad I own the system for now.
Yeah.
Like, they're giving me, like, I bought the system in November. I own Peggle and Halo Combat, like, that, like, Halo, like, iOS game. Those are the only 2 games I own for it. There's this press conference, they're finally giving me, like, there's hope in the future for me.
You say those are the only games you own for it. How many games are there even out for it?
I don't know.
Like, I can't even think of.
And that's the thing too, is the Xbox for me is just for exclusives. Any, like, multi-platform is going straight to PS4. And obviously the Wii is for exclusives as well.
All one of them.
Yeah. Bayonetta 2. So after Scalebound, they showed the new Crackdown, which Crackdown 2 sucked. Like,
see, I didn't play Crackdown 2 at all. I played Crackdown 1 hard. I went crazy at that game.
Crackdown 2 was really bad. Crackdown 1 was so fun. And this is what we were talking about earlier. I would have put the Halo 5 beta in the new Crackdown just to kind of give it that little, like,
yeah,
we're still
exactly.
like a fun company.
It definitely would have driven sales on Crackdown also. I don't know how many people
But
have
they didn't give
fond
Crackdown
memories.
a date, so that might be why they didn't, because I don't think Crackdown's the end of this year. Whereas the Halo 5 beta,
Okay,
they want to
yeah.
get out. So
That
maybe
could
that's the
definitely be
reason.
it. I'm worried. I don't know how many people have fond memories of Crackdown.
I have fond memories of how awful Crackdown 2 was.
Yeah, exactly. So it's worth. I want Crackdown to do well because I think it's a really cool franchise. Maybe not a good franchise, but a cool franchise.
Yep. Oh, and I missed the game. They showed Ori and the Blind Forest. Was it Ori and the Blind Forest? Yeah, Ori and the Blind Forest.
Yeah. That was the one with all the. That was Rain the Game, is what I kept calling it because I was listening to the trailer and I couldn't watch it. And it was just like rain and nice sounds, and I was like, "This looks great."
Yeah, like graphically, it looked really cool. They didn't show like too much, but I really like the art style for it. It looks like a cool platformer.
Yeah.
You've got like a buddy, and you got to protect each other.
We were saying that this was you and Mark, the game.
Yes, that is what this one was. Then they had the whole indie games montage. We're not going to cover all the games. I didn't like the montage because there were a lot of games in there that I wanted to know a lot more about that were just kind of like, oh, I only got 2 seconds. Like, what the hell? Like Mighty Number 9, the starter.
Yeah.
Like, that was in the little thing.
I think my biggest issue with the indie games montage is that there's nothing new. There's no news in there. There's stuff like Guacamelee, which is already
there was other. I think it's Wolfey. That's a new game, and that looked awesome. Like her character model was sick.
Not that there's no new games, but there's no news. There was nothing. Everyone knew that those games were coming to Xbox One. Like Xbox One had been promised as part of those games deliverables, or if that's not true, they had been out for a while already. Like Guacamelee, that had never been intended for Xbox One, but I'm sure they're just putting it there because they can.
Yo.
Threes is not an Xbox One game. That's just a game that's. I mean, Threes came out before 2048. 2048's the more popular of the two, I would say. But like that's not an Xbox One game.
Wolfey was not the one I was thinking about. It was Wolverblade. That's the one I was thinking
yes,
about.
that one looked
game
cool.
Looked sick.
Lifeless Planet. That game is cool. I played it. It's fun.
Yeah,
Mighty Number 9. I'm excited for. Like you said, I'm excited for any Mega Man.
I just wanted to maybe show less. Like, don't show me Pure Pool or the Golf Club or, like you said, Guacamelee. Show me like the highlight games and like talk about them so I like know what they are.
Yep. Like Plague Inc. We didn't need that. We don't need a trailer for Plague Inc.
Yeah. Yeah, and that was Microsoft. What did they end on? I know that one wasn't in order. They ended on Crackdown. That's what they ended on.
Yeah, Crackdown was
which I thought
last.
that was a good way to end it because that got everyone really excited.
Crackdown, yeah, that was a good way.
So overall, Microsoft, like, what did you come away from Microsoft with?
I think Microsoft killed it. I think definitely out of the three companies, they were the best. And I would say they did the best job of getting people hyped for the results of the press conference.
I disagree with them being the best in show. I think they did exactly what I wanted them to do, which was get me excited for the fall, get me some games that I care about, and just make my purchase like justified.
Yeah.
And I feel like they nailed that for me. They hit a lot of really good stuff. They hit Sunset Overdrive. They hit Scalebound, Crackdown, and the Master Chief Collection. So that's 4 titles that I'm definitely picking up. Yeah, I thought they did what they needed to do, for me at least.
I thought them choosing to go all games was a really, really good idea. I think that they needed that.
I liked that. Part of me really wished they had mentioned some new things coming to like apps or everything, or anything like that.
Yeah.
The other thing, I did not like the like little like quippy skits they did in between games, where there was just like 2 dudes and they were like, "Hey, what if you
those
took
are super
Ninja
weird.
Turtles and Batman and you went like this with them, and then that's a game." And then they would like cut to like Project Spark.
Yeah. That was super weird. I hated that.
I didn't like the quipping.
I'll take Robot Chicken Nintendo over that
Nope,
anytime.
We will get to that when that happens. Microsoft killed it compared to that. I'll take quips all day over that.
No, those quips were awful.
But now let's go to the next conference, which was EA. EA kicked it off with a Star Wars Battlefront video.
Super weird.
I felt like the second that video started, I was like, I had my popcorn ready. I was like sitting there like, I'm in for a treat. Like, this is going to be amazing.
Yep.
And in the video, they were like, we spent all this money traveling to where the films were made so we could see how cold a stormtrooper was really in the snow when he had the stormtrooper suit on. And then we went to the woods and we picked up leaves. And we're making the game.
We love Star Wars just as much as anyone. And, you know, it's been a great experience getting to work on this Star Wars thing. And they're bringing us all these Star Wars bottles to try out, and we get to look at all Star Wars stuff. You should be excited about Star Wars. Thanks.
Yeah. Like, all we saw was conceptual art. Like, in the background. Like, not even, like, on screen. Like, in the background on someone's monitor where they're like, Star Wars.
Yeah, there was, like, nothing shown for the game. It was the biggest letdown of the show. I can say that.
Yeah, I would say that is one of the biggest disappointments for me for the show. And then they just went away. Like, they were done.
It was just like, welcome to the EA press conference. We're going to talk about some bullshit.
Yep. So then they showed Dragon Age gameplay, which we already talked about Dragon Age, so you got our thoughts on that. I thought the gameplay looked neat, but again, like, I'm not a Dragon Age guy. Then they came out with Mass Effect. They talk about how awesome the Mass Effect story is and how great the community is. They get all like worked up, like, we didn't like the ending, and they appreciate that because it helps them be a better company. And they talk about Mass Effect 4, and then they don't show anything.
Yeah, that was weird.
So right off the bat, they got 2 trailers that don't show anything. Oh, and then they were like, and we got a new IP that we're working on, and the guy gets to look like right up in your face, and he's like, that's it. And then they cut. Like, they announce a new IP. I feel like every developer who walks out on that stage can be like, oh, we got guys in the back working on another game, but we're not going to tell you about it.
Yeah, it didn't really make a lot of sense to be like, yeah, we're working on 2 games, Mass Effect 4 and something else.
Yeah, like, I did not understand that. It was really confusing. It's not something you normally see at E3 where a guy's just like, yeah, we got stuff we're doing, I guess. And that was it for BioWare. I was really... Yep. I don't like the Mass Effect series, but I wanted to see... I like watching game things, so I wanted to see like what the new Mass Effect was going to look like.
Yeah, I feel like the EA press conference was... they started off not great.
Yeah, that's a understatement.
Just really, really weak.
Yep. Then The Sims 4 came out, and that was It got a little awkward during Sims 4.
Sims 4 was like really
Really hammy.
I think they had the most gameplay footage from The Sims 4, and it was
Yeah.
like least exciting.
Really, really hammy, like building it up action. Like, oh, Chuck wrote a poem, but Betsy doesn't like the poem, so they're gonna fight.
Yeah, it was
it's like-
not.
I like
It was just overall not.
I like the announcements. Like, I like the ability. Like, now you can really affect like emotion and like the hearts of the Sims now in the game. So that was cool. But I felt they spent way too much time hamming it up with that title because it was really hammy.
They know the people who play The Sims, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. Oh, and then they kill the guy at the end too.
Yep.
That I guess was the
super
best
weird.
part.
Super weird all around.
Yep. So then it cuts to after Sims, she walks off the stage. Cuts to Bruce Lee. He's talking about water and how when you put water in a teapot, the water's now a teapot. Or when you put it in a bottle, now it's the bottle. And then some guy interrupts him and like comes out. He starts talking about UFC and how he wants to beat up Bruce Lee, but he can't. And then they show Bruce Lee in
Joe wants you to know you're all blurry.
yeah, no, I it's adjusting. So yeah, then they show Bruce Lee in not Fight Club, UFC.
Yeah, the EA UFC game is their first time with the license. It's their second MMA game overall. So I'm interested to see what they do with it.
Yeah, it looked good. I liked the submission stuff when he was on the ground and he was doing all like the grappling stuff. I thought that looked really cool. But
that's consistently the hardest part about MMA to capture in a game. There hasn't really been a game that's done it well enough for me yet. I've played all the Fight Night. I think that's what they're called.
yeah.
Hold on, UFC Undisputed. I've played them all. They've all been.
I didn't even know you
good.
had that. I'm gonna have to grab that from you.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. So I played all those. They're good games. It's just the grappling specifically is really awkward and really like just easy to cheese. So hopefully this one is better.
Yeah. Bruce Lee looked cool. He kicked the guy in the head.
Yeah, man, I don't know why anyone would not play as Bruce Lee in this game at least a little bit.
Yeah. So then they started their whole like sports, like we're gonna sport it up a bit, which I'm fine with EA doing.
Yeah.
They talked about NHL. They didn't really talk a lot about the game. They just were like, we're gonna show you gameplay, and then they kind of showed gameplay.
The gameplay they did show looked awesome.
It looked awesome. Didn't look like gameplay. It looked like the little cutscenes that like swerve around like in between plays.
Yeah.
Like I never saw an actual like shot on net or like a puck drop. It was just like this is what happens when your skaters are just moseying about. So I got so excited when they said they were showing gameplay, and then they kinda did.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm
gonna buy NHL.
Yeah,
15.
I mean I buy them all.
Sports RPGs. I've just learned that I am completely in love with. I never would buy MLB The Show. I have the one for PS4. I can't put it down because I'm just like I'm leveling up. I'm getting skills. I'm learning new pitches. Like everything. It's an RPG now.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
They have made sports games the best possible way to make sports games.
They could just come out and say sports RPG hockey, and I'd be like, "Yep, I'm gonna buy it." So then Criterion comes out on stage, and they're like, "We like racing, but we like going fast and other things." And then they showed like helicopters going all like flying up. They showed a guy jumping out like with a wingsuit. They were talking about jumping off of cliffs in a kayak. Then while the kayak's like falling, like a glider comes by and you like jump off the kayak and grab that. And then they didn't announce anything. This was another company coming out and being like, "Hey, we're working on something. Get out."
Yeah, it was. All I wanted was them to say the words "burnout," and they couldn't even tell us what the game was going to be.
Yeah, all I wanted was Burnout. And I got nothing. I didn't even get, like, the disappointment of being like, okay, they're making another game and it's not Burnout. I just got nothing. And concept footage. What was up with all the concept footage?
Yeah, I guess they just don't have a full anything to show at this point.
Yeah.
I don't know. It seemed really strange to announce
Why
nothing.
come out?
Yeah.
Why come out and just be like, hey, we're working on something, but we're not going to tell you anything about it, and we're going to give you a very, very loose description of it.
Yeah, it didn't make a lot of sense. And it was sandwiched in with all the sports stuff, too, which was weird.
Yeah. I mean, that kind of makes sense, because it maybe is racing. I don't even know.
I don't know. I don't know what it is.
And they made a big point to say it's going to be all FPS. Like, it's all first person.
Yeah, it's super weird. Well, I'll keep my eye on it. It looked... I like racing games. I like those kind of games, so...
So then, PGA Tour came out, and...
Yeah, dumping the Tiger Woods name.
Yeah. That was... I mean, it makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
They've had a lot of no fun with him lately.
He's not the golfer he used to be, so I get why they dumped it.
So PGA announces that they're using the Frostbite engine now. And then they show you hitting golf balls in a war zone, and then they leave. I thought that trailer was super weird.
Yeah, that's, you basically summed it up. It was really weird.
Like, this is your golf game for the next gen. You have all this, like, time. I felt like the EA press conference was pretty short. You have all this time that you could be talking about, like, next gen features, next gen this, and they're like, you can hit golf balls over boats.
Yeah, they were just really excited, I guess, about showing off the crazy stuff they could do.
Yeah. Then Madden came out, and I instantly was just like, well, I'm not really a football fan. As much as I love sports RPGs, I don't like football. And
football is the best sport.
And then they showed the new defense stuff, which I thought looked really interesting.
My favorite part about that was like, oh, like a lot of our players have told us that they like defense, and after all, defense is like almost half the game. And it's like, yeah. Like, why have you taken so long to realize that statement?
A good defense is a strong... I fucked that up. Yeah.
It was a really weird way to be like, we focused on defense, especially when, like, 3 years ago, they were like, we focused on defense.
Yeah, well, the whole time I was watching, I was like, I think it was 2008 where they went, like, hard on, like, cut blocking, and that's when all that was introduced. Like,
it was like, whoa, Troy Polamalu's on the cover. Like, that dude from the Ravens is on the cover. Isn't this crazy?
Yeah, as a football fan, were you... I felt like this was the most sports trailer, or, like, presentation they had, where they actually showed improvement from previous games. NHL, while it looked amazing, they didn't tell me anything about it.
Yeah,
this game, they actually had, like, legit, like, this is what we can do now, and it looks awesome. Like, here are all the different ways you can tackle, and, like...
Which is weird, because I'm pretty sure... Maybe this comes out first. I think FIFA comes out.
No, I think this is before
first.
FIFA. I think this is...
I
think Madden is August.
Yeah, Madden's August. Is FIFA... I thought FIFA was, like, July.
I don't think it is.
Okay, so, yeah.
Because it's after World Cup.
Okay, then yeah. So this game comes out first, so it makes sense that they have the most footage for this.
Yeah, but the other games are close. NHL is the same time as FIFA, I think. Like, I think that's September. Yep. And you would think, like, this far in, they'd have stuff.
Yeah, I agree.
They got to be close to, like, boxing stuff up.
You would think so, but...
Yeah.
And yet, it's my go-to.
Yeah.
And yet.
Then they showed Dawngate, which is the MOBA. I saw it at PAX. I kind of tuned out during this.
The last thing that the gaming world needs is another MOBA.
Well, I mean, they're a dying breed right now.
That's true.
So we'll skip Dawngate. They went right to Mirror's Edge. I like Mirror's Edge. I don't understand the hype behind this game. Like, I thought the first game was fun, but clunky as hell when it came to combat and everything.
Yeah, I can see that. I would say that most of Mirror's Edge 1 was not supposed to be combat.
Right, but you didn't have a choice in a lot of spots. And
No,
when
no,
you,
no. Yeah, you didn't.
Yeah,
But
and it was clunky as hell.
they wanted to focus on not
Yeah.
making you throw up while you were playing, as opposed to anything
Yeah.
else.
I'm like, I'll play this game, but like, I didn't understand. Like, that crowd went nuts, and
It's-
everyone that was watching with us like was going nuts for it. Maybe I just don't get it. I liked the first game, but not enough to be like, holy shit, they're making a second one, which they already announced.
I would just say that it's out of all the things that EA has made, it has been. I would say it's been the strongest title that was getting no attention from them in any way. They didn't announce a sequel. They didn't announce anything. It did crazy good numbers and was just pretty much Left 4 Dead. And it was like, wow, this is a new, unique game from EA, and we supported it. And then you guys did nothing with it.
Yeah.
So it was awesome to hear that they were actually going to do something with it in the long run.
Yeah. Then we got FIFA, which they talked a lot about how much better it looked. They talked a lot about... Actually, yeah, when I was saying Madden was the only one that showed him, FIFA did show a lot too.
Yeah.
'Cause they talked a lot about how you'd be like working the pitch and like controlling the ball around fielders, and how one-on-one was going to feel a lot better, and the way the ball like bounces off people, like the projectiles, like everything was going to feel a lot smoother.
I'm so excited for FIFA. FIFA,
Yeah, I'm a huge
Is-
FIFA fan.
it's the only yearly title that just delivers every time.
Well, because it's the world sport.
Yep.
It's their, as much as Madden sells, FIFA like triples that number.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, I'm definitely gonna get FIFA 15. It's the only sports game I get when I didn't learn there were sports RPGs.
It's the least sports RPG one of all of them, too.
Yeah, but they have that cool card game where you can set up your own teams.
Oh,
I
they all
really
have
like
that. They all have that now.
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. Madden has it. NHL has it.
That card game is so good.
Dude, it's the best. You should not get those games this year because you will spend all your money on it. Just like I did.
Then the highlight for me was Battlefield Hardline, showing the gameplay of it.
I thought it was cool.
I couldn't have cared less about Battlefield Hardline going into it. I've been done with Battlefield since Battlefield Bad Company. I thought Battlefield 1943 on the PSN was amazing. Bad Company felt more like Call of Duty, and since Bad Company, they've all felt more and more Call of Duty-y.
Wait, wasn't Bad Company Medal of Honor?
No. That was Battlefield.
Man, I can't keep track of anything.
I know. And Battlefield Hardline was cops versus robbers, which I was just like, ugh, like I've seen it before. I'm not excited for it. Then they showed the gameplay, and that changed the game a bit for me.
It's so vertical, and I love it.
Yeah, it's super vertical. So they showed the gameplay. Everyone, like, it was a big stink about it. Then immediately they were like, and we want you guys to play it now. So what we're doing now is we're announcing the closed beta is live right now. You can sign up for it and then just start playing now. Their site was just like bogged down. Like, you could not get access to that thing at all.
Yeah.
I got into it. A couple other friends got into it. I played it a bunch last night. It is so fun.
I'm really upset I didn't get into it.
Driving
I'm really
the
upset.
motorcycle like over like a ramp to get onto like the highway, and then like the destruction like falls and it makes this like ramp that you can like jump off of. Like, it's really fun, and it's smaller, I feel, than a lot of Battlefield, which it works better because it's so much more Call of Duty now.
Yeah.
I've been having a blast playing it. I only played last night. I played like 4 or 5 matches. I still don't like how it opens in a browser. Like,
Yeah,
it's still
I
like
think
in
that's
Battle
gross.
Log. Like, I know they've put so much money into Battle Log that they can't really abandon it at this point, but I don't like Battle Log.
I just signed up for the beta again.
Okay.
I still don't think I'm going to get into it, but
Yeah.
that's how bad I want to
Yeah, well, they also made the mistake, too, of telling everyone it was first come, first serve. So everyone dropped everything and was just like, okay, like, this is what I'm doing with my life.
Yep.
So, yeah, I thought EA's was weird overall.
Yeah, I didn't love it.
Definitely not the worst in show, but definitely one that was a head scratcher, and I spent a lot of time wondering why are they showing me things and not telling me things.
Super interesting choices from a. It's interesting to see what they consider to be their big sellers
Yeah.
and what they don't. They spend
Also,
a lot
no
of time
Battlefield 5 as well,
well,
which I
yeah.
think a lot of people were expecting.
I think they are smart enough to know that they cannot show Battlefield 5 until Battlefield 4 works.
Yeah, that's smart.
I was surprised they showed Hardline at all.
Well, Hardline's a different team.
Still, I just was
Yeah.
surprised they showed the game at all. Any
Yeah.
Battlefield, anything.
Yeah. So let's jump into Ubisoft. Ubisoft, to me, started off probably the best of all the conferences. Ubisoft killed it. Their Far Cry 3 or Far Cry 4 intro, where they don't really introduce you to your character. They introduce you to the villain, which that studio knows how to make a villain.
Yeah.
Voss was amazing in Far Cry 3, and I was so sad when he died because I was like, there's not going to be like a Far Cry 4 with Voss in it. Like, I'm upset. This new villain, way better than Voss, and I didn't think that was possible. Much attitude in that man, and
Yeah, that first time you see him when he's talking to that guy was just intense.
yeah. And they killed a monkey.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Yeah, they shot the monkey dead. That's definitely a game I'm picking up. I thought Ubisoft killed it by starting with that. But then they just went swooping downhill because Aisha Tyler, her name.
Yeah, man,
walked out.
you really hate her.
I don't like her. I don't think she's funny. I think she makes really, like, stereotypical game jokes.
Dude, Lady
She
Bone.
says, she says lady boner. She wore a shirt that had a lady and a bone. It's just something about her just irks the shit out of me. I miss the other guy.
Joel McHale.
Yeah, I miss
Yeah.
Joel McHale a lot.
Joel McHale rules. I agree completely on that.
So she came out, and then they showed Just Dance. You were really excited about this.
I get excited for dumb stuff. Specifically about this, what I was excited for was that they were talking about the like asynchronous multiplayer, and they were talking about the any device can be
I don't understand
used.
that at all.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me. So that's what I was really excited for, which is unfortunate that it was during the Just Dance portion of the event because I came running into your room and I was like, "What's all this now?"
They didn't explain how it worked at all. It's people holding a cell phone that can connect to Just Dance and play it through their like cell phone or their tablet. But how does it read your other hand and your legs? Like, could I just stand there and be like, "Well, I'm dancing," and then I get a perfect score?
Yeah, I have no idea.
I don't get it. I'm sure it'll sell though, because Just Dance always sells crazy numbers. It's probably one of the best party games they have.
Which is disappointing, but
then they cut to a Division cinematic trailer, which was really dark and depressing. Actually, it started off with like a woman's child like struggling through the sickness and her watching her die. Then it cut to people getting beat up in the street, and then it was just really a sad trailer. I liked it because it gave you that story kind of element to it, but at the same time, I want gameplay from that game. I want to see it running more. I want to be convinced that it's real and not this like pipe dream and vaporware like I believe it's going to be.
Yeah, they have a lot to prove with it. They've built themselves up, so
Yeah.
it's all on them.
Yeah. The Crew. That was next. I'm really excited for The Crew. I played The Crew at PAX. I love the idea of The Crew. I love open world races. I like how it'll take you 2 hours real time to drive from one end of the map to the other. I think all of that is awesome. Don't show me another cinematic trailer of just cars going real fast. And like I'm not saying that like, oh, it's a racing game, cars going fast. I'm saying like the whole trailer was like in this like sped up time of like zipping through cities.
Yeah, it was
to show like going across country.
The last thing I need from a racing game is you to show me your cars going fast.
Yeah, show me more about the crew setup. Show me more about the different mission structures. Like, show me things like that. This game is pretty much ready to be shipped. I would assume it's this year.
It's soon. It's like fall, right?
Yeah.
One second, I'll look it up.
And it's soon because this was another title that they immediately were like, boom, the second this press conference is over, sign up for the beta. It's not playable right now, but you could sign up immediately for it. So they are preparing to launch the beta. I think they said July.
November.
For the beta?
No, for the game.
Oh, for the game. So yeah, I wanted more from the crew.
Yeah, it would have been nice. I don't know how much of it you can show, really, just in terms of what there is to show. But I would have liked to see even just more vanity shots of like slow-mo turns and like that stuff.
Yeah, I want to know more about the core, like what I'm going to be spending my time doing. Because they've already sold me on the game, like I know I'm already getting it. I just want to know more of what I'm going to be playing once I get it. Because that trailer showed me nothing.
Yep, I agree. After that was the Assassin's Creed trailer.
Yep, this I was like more okay with than the other things they showed because this was different than what Xbox showed, and they showed a lot of single player gameplay, and they introed the main character.
Yep, I thought that I liked everything about this more than the Xbox One, and I think they did that on purpose. I think they wanted to save some stuff for them.
Yep.
So I get it. The Xbox One was super underwhelming. It's a really good thing. Excuse me. It's a really good thing that they were in the same day.
Yeah.
Because if it had been a day between these, there would have been way too much time for people to be like, "Wow, Assassin's Creed looks really simple," and this and that.
But then they showed Shape Up.
Yeah, that was an interesting choice.
I don't know if you need the pad that they were on. Part of me believes you do.
You must.
Well, it could be a Kinect game, but I think you need that pad.
Well, if it was a Kinect game, I think they would have shown it during.
Maybe. So Shape Up is a fitness game that's supposed to be like the gamer's fitness game. It's supposed to get you like pumped for working out. And how do they do that? You have a really crappy Rock Band clone going up the screen, and you have to step like it's like a dumb DDR Rock Band mix.
Yeah.
To Eye of the Tiger. And then you have to do push-ups. The gamers love push-ups. You got to do push-ups, but here's the twist: if you do less push-ups than your buddy, there'll be a big old whale on your back, so it's harder to do push-ups. How does that how is it harder for me to do push-out when there's a digital whale on the screen that isn't affecting me at all?
Because you got to do like 2 push-ups for every 1 push-up.
Maybe? I don't know.
I
thought Shape Up I liked the idea of Shape Up. I thought the delivery was really, like, not offensive, but just like, that's not going to do it.
Yep.
It looked like a Wii game.
Yeah, it looked like just one of those cheesy things that they show off to be like, look, we can track motion.
Yeah. I wasn't feeling it. After Assassin's Creed to just jump into Shape Up, like, So then they showed Valiant Hearts, which couldn't have more feels in it if they tried.
Yeah, I actually missed the Valiant Hearts trailer, but I went back and checked it out after, and it was... What is this? I went back and checked it out later, and it really got me interested in a game that I knew almost nothing about.
So I was talking to somebody about this, and do you feel like the art style does not represent the game at all? Like the art style is a little too cutesy for this, like, I'm never going to see my family again.
100%, yeah. It is really, like, sad for the art style.
Yeah, like the whole trailer was like, hey, like everyone dies and no one's happy and they give their lives for your freedom. And there's a puppy and that's the game. They didn't really show any
End of
gameplay
story.
like either.
Yeah, there was no gameplay as
It was
far
just a
as
puppy
I saw,
walking.
unless I missed it.
So that was Valiant Hearts. I'll probably check it out. I don't know. I wasn't completely sold on that title.
Yeah, me either.
And then they showed their big announcement, which was Rainbow Six Siege. I was not expecting a Rainbow Six title to be at the show.
Me either.
I was not expecting a Rainbow Six title. This is the problem with Ubisoft right now. I hate Tom Clancy. I've never read his books, so I can't say anything to those. But I don't think there's a Tom Clancy game I've ever been like, yep, that was fun. I thought Vegas was awful. I hate sticky cover. I hate like the fact that it's like, oh, press X to get on this wall, and it's like
Yeah.
epoxy, like you're not getting off that wall. This is where you live now. This game, like the name came up, and I was like, ugh, garbage. And then I saw the gameplay, and that really changed my mind because the level of destruction in this game might rival like what Battlefield does with their games. I'm not even gonna say might. It does. This game is incredible looking.
Speaking of destruction, I totally forgot to mention this earlier. I'm so dumb for forgetting this. A lot of you guys might know about the Xbox or the Microsoft Cloud Computing demo that happened a while back, and it was confirmed that was all for Crackdown 3. You reminded me of that because you said destruction, and it's just like the level of it's the same amount of destruction as I saw in this Rainbow Six Siege thing, where it's just buildings just being
like it
everything
looked like
can be blown up.
Yeah, literally every pixel could be affected by bullets and gunshots and stuff that you wouldn't normally be able to like when he put that the strap charge to the roof and blew a hole through it and the dude was just shooting down. That was awesome.
Yep.
It looked like a fun Counter-Strike. Because just the way the game mode was.
I am also not a huge Tom Clancy fan. Definitely not a huge Rainbow Six fan. The tactical stuff in that game is so strict compared to how the game plays that it's always been a piss off for me. But this looked really fun.
Yeah. Here's my question to you. Does this look like it has a single player?
No.
I'm really hoping it doesn't. I found out today that Battlefield Hardline does, and I instantly was like, why?
It
why
will.
Does it Hardline has a single player.
Yeah, no, I'm telling Rainbow Six Siege will have a single player.
Oh, why?
It doesn't look like it should at all.
Why?
All games have a single player.
That's not
Some
true.
games have a multiplayer.
That's not true.
Even Titanfall has a single player.
Titanfall did it right where it doesn't have a single player.
It does have a single player.
But you have to play the multiplayer to play it.
Right, but it's still single player.
No.
If you
games
asked,
don't need a single player.
If you asked the Titanfall devs, they would say yes.
Games don't need a single player. Put your dev time into making a just baller multiplayer. Don't spend any time making this just single player that no one's gonna play. I would say no one, but people will play it. A PC game doesn't need single player. $60 console games need a single player. I disagree. I just don't think anyone's making them because I've seen $40 multiplayer only games on console do really well.
Why make a $40 game with multiplayer when I could tack in a single player mode and make it $60?
Because then that single I'll give you the perfect example, Starhawk. That had a phenomenal multiplayer. That single player was shit on by reviewers and that killed that review score. People didn't buy it probably because of how awful that single player was that they tacked on because of people like what you just said. Where it's let's pump out this single player game that no one fucking cares about.
I don't think anyone who wants multiplayer stuff didn't buy Starhawk because of its single player. I think that they got single player buys and not as many as they would have wanted, but more than they would have gotten. I think people who wanted multiplayer bought that game.
See, I don't know. We there's no way to tell. There's no we'd have to pull people basically,
Yeah.
like in line. Be like, are you buying this because of single player or multiplayer?
Yeah, exactly.
But like games like Warhawk did not have a single player at all, and that game did really well.
Yep.
And it was a phenomenal multiplayer. Probably one of the best console multiplayers I've played in a long time. It's because they didn't spend any dev time working at all on a single player campaign. They just fleshed out a just sweet multiplayer game. And that game sold at $40 with a headset. I think it was $30 if you bought it on the store without the headset.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, like that shows that games can do that. You just need people to back it, I guess.
Yeah, that's the hardest part.
Yeah. I mean, I understand that it's hard for a studio to sell like a multiplayer only title to a like investor.
Yeah.
But god damn it, I want it. Like there are people out there like me who want this thing. And I just wish investors would know that.
I mean, having a single player mode doesn't prevent you from.
No, but think about how much better Call of Duty would be if they could just be like, push the single player out the door and only work on making that multiplayer better.
I like this. I like the single player though. I don't play games for multiplayer. I'm not a multiplayer gamer.
Let's say this then. What if they had a team that only did multiplayer, like, and it wasn't a yearly like thing that came out, and they like you got your yearly single player for like a cheaper cost. Like they came out at different times, like the multiplayer and single player.
Yeah, I mean, I would like that. That would be nice, but that's a pipe dream. That's never going to happen.
Right. I just feel like we could be getting much better multiplayers than then these just like throw away like, okay, this game is exactly like this game's like this, because no one has they got to bounce between both.
Yeah, I know, I get what you're saying. I don't think it's a realistic anything. I don't think a studio will ever sacrifice the extended revenue from having.
I think there are studios that could do it, but they're working on other things, obviously.
Yeah. So that was the Ubisoft press conference.
Yeah, not really a lot, but Far Cry 4.
Yeah, Far Cry 4 looks good.
And Rainbow Six. Though I think Far Cry and Rainbow Six saved that conference from
being just a total snooze.
Yeah, because they're really. I wanted to see The Division. They didn't show it to me. I wanted to see The Crew. They didn't deliver. And then I got Just Dance and Shape Up.
I agree. I'm when I come out of a presser like this, and the thing I'm most excited about is the fact that you were like, look at how crazy, like, you can play our multiplayer on whatever. Like, that's probably not a great press conference for you guys.
Yep. So Sony's press conference. Sony's was late. It was at like, I think it started at 9 EST. I don't remember Killzone being shown. Maybe I missed something, but I don't remember Killzone being shown. It's listed in the list of things they talked about, but I don't remember it.
I definitely did. I didn't watch it at the time, so I did see Killzone stuff, but that was of my own.
Well, what did you see? Because I started the conference right at 9, and they went right into Destiny. So I don't know if maybe it was right before the conference. I don't know when this was shown.
All I saw was a trailer. I didn't see. Like I can't even talk right now. I didn't see like gameplay or stuff. I didn't do a lot of hunting for it. I didn't watch it live, certainly while they were doing it. But it looked cool. I'm not a huge Killzone guy.
Okay.
So I think people who play Killzone will like it. It looked like more of the same.
Okay.
I know it's free to people with Season Pass, obviously, just like any DLC. I don't remember what they said it was going to cost. I think they said that they were going to have a standalone version of it. Like, if you don't own Shadowfall, you'll be able to just buy Intercept.
That's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Would it just be multiplayer? Is this what we were just talking about?
I think so, yeah. But for, this is the scale that you see that on.
Yeah.
Like a $20 downloadable title or whatever it's going to be.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with that if it's going to be just a multiplayer game.
Yeah. That's what it looks like.
Okay.
But it didn't look bad. Again, I'm not a huge Killzone guy.
Yeah.
It looked
Killzone
like
had a lot of problems on PS4, at least for me. I got constant crashes, and then I just didn't want to wait for the bug fixes to come in. I looked up my issue, and it was a well-known issue, and they were just waiting for fixes for it.
Jesus.
And I just didn't want to wait, so I got rid of mine pretty quick.
Unbelievable.
So
That was Killzone.
yeah. Then Destiny.
Multiplayer tactics-based shooting. Destiny was cool.
Destiny showed a lot of in-game footage, which I really liked. It was still just a trailer. They didn't show actual gameplay footage. It was just in-game cinematics and using the engine. They announced that. They announced the alpha, which I think I can play tomorrow.
Nice.
So for PS4 users, if you went to their website, they announced this all during the thing. Another one that announced. I really like this trend of people announcing the game and then being like, if you want to play this, go now to our thing and sign up. I like that.
Yeah.
I think it gets people way more invested in your game. So I signed up for that. That starts tomorrow. The actual beta, for pre-orders, starts next month. I think the 17th. So they gave us a date for that. They announced the bundle, which I'm super pissed about, and it's possible I trade in my PS4 for another PS4 come this fall because they announced the white Destiny
I'm
PS4.
gonna give you so much shit if you do that.
The day they showed the PS4, I was just like, why are they showing why don't they have different colors from the gate? Because I'm gonna buy a white one. I like white consoles.
The amount of shit I give you is gonna be astronomical. You trade in a console, pay more money for a new one that does 0 things better.
I'm at 92% gonna trade in my PS4 for the white one.
That is the worst decision anyone could make as far as spending goes. Period.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not good at it.
The worst economic decision in the history of economics, I would say.
I'm not good at these decisions, but I want a white one, so it's worth it to me.
No, that's not how worth works.
So Destiny looked really good. Then they showed the Order, which they didn't show gameplay. Did they show? It didn't look like gameplay to me. Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't look like gameplay.
It was him in a bathroom with a werewolf.
I was into the Order, and then I wasn't into the Order. After this.
I haven't been into the Order because I'm really tired of the whole steampunk, Tesla coil. Why is everything set in Victorian times have to be steampunk? Why couldn't they just?
Because it's not interesting otherwise.
No, it's super interesting.
It's not. What are you gonna have one carriage because all the other horses are dead?
Yeah.
No, that sounds awful.
I gotta walk places.
That's Assassin's Creed that you're talking about.
No. I'm just really tired of steampunk.
I am also tired of steampunk, but I'm more tired of monsters and zombies and werewolves and vampires and...
I'm getting tired of zombies.
I'm just tired of monster titles. I'm tired of them. I don't need more of them. They're not interesting to me, which means they're worthless.
Yeah.
If I don't like it, then that means that it's bad.
Yeah, that's true. So then they showed Entwined, which was weird paper origami birds flying through each other. It's a co-op indie title. It looked kind of cool. I don't know if I'd play it. What was cool about it was it was available immediately. You could just go in the store and buy it for $9.99.
Yeah.
I also like that trend too. I wish more games would be yep, this is available now. Boop. So that was cool. They announced the infamous First Light DLC, standalone DLC.
And it focuses on Fetch, right?
Yeah.
From the game.
Yep.
I think that's cool. I think she had the best powers out of...
Yeah, her powers were really cool.
I think the video guy was cool, but I think hers were the most fun, the best.
Yeah,
coolest
because you
looking.
could zip around that city real fast.
Exactly. And they left the neon stuff they would leave behind.
Yeah.
Was really cool. The fact that it just like hung in the air.
Yeah, hers had really good particle effects. I mean, all of them did, but hers specifically.
Yep.
Yeah, so I'm pumped for that. Then the big announcement for me, well, not big, but this came out of left field because I could have sworn Media Molecule announced they were not going to be there. And that's Little Big Planet 3 for the PS4.
I like the Little Big Planet games in theory. My favorite part about the Little Big Planet games is the strategy guides that Brandon has for them, because they're totally built around like making your own game and stuff.
Yeah.
So seeing those is always funny. I am not a creative person, so these kind of games just don't hold.
Now, here I have a question.
Yeah.
Did you play the single player for like the first game?
Yeah.
See, I thought that was really fun, and me and my girlfriend had a blast playing through that together, and so that's why I will get the third one, because I can do that again.
Yeah, I thought the single player was fun. I just definitely didn't think it was enough to warrant a game, like a full game.
Yeah. I'm super into the idea of creating my own game. I just get like 2 hours into it, and then I'm like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
But I really like playing the levels in the shop.
Every create your own game style thing I've ever played has been, like 1-2 hours. And I'm like, wow, I have no interest in spending another 12 hours doing this.
Except for Virtual Fighter. Or
Creative
Creative Fighter.
Fighter Creator.
Fighter Maker.
Yeah, that's what this game rules. I have to get that. I have to get that so you can make stuff.
What they also did was, which I thought was really cool, was all levels from the Little Big Planet community for 1 and 2 will be playable in the third game, and all have updated graphics. That's insane. They said something like 8 million plus levels will be available like at launch.
That's an insane amount of levels.
Yeah.
I would argue that that's too much game.
They also showed 3 new characters, which that took me by surprise.
Yeah.
They have this like puppy character. They have a bird who can fly, and they have this guy called Toggle, which he's like this big fat like bulky dude, and then he can like swoop down into this little itty bitty guy that can get to hard to reach places. I thought the new characters looked really cool. Like, I think that's going to add a lot to the game. Even like I feel like a game like that, the littlest tweak adds a ton of content.
Yeah,
because it changes it so much.
Yeah, like there's all new levels and stuff that like level types and things.
Yeah,
that weren't even possible.
Yep. After Little Big Planet, everything went dark. The From Software like logo came up. The whole crowd exploded, and they announced Bloodborne. They didn't show any gameplay, but that cinematic trailer was dark.
Yeah,
like cutting that dog up with that weird sword.
That was messed up.
I think it looked great. I'm really excited for a new franchise from that studio. I had fingers crossed hard for that being Demon Souls, but I'm super pumped for just a new idea from them. That studio is really good at what they do.
Demon Souls is dead.
Yeah, it probably is, but that's okay because now we got Bloodborne.
After Bloodborne was Far Cry 4, the demo, right?
Yeah, that was the gameplay, which they showed a lot.
Yeah, it looked really good. I don't know how I feel about this, like, titles being shown twice in different conferences.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing they've done forever, though.
Yeah, I just don't like it. It's a weird thing. It's like, yeah. I get that, like, the Far Cry 4 demo is good, but, like, just show it during Ubisoft. Just have Ubisoft show it. Yeah. It's a Ubisoft game. It belongs there.
Yeah. Well, that's because they had exclusive stuff for PS4.
Yeah.
I like the idea of the co-op. I love that if I buy the game and you're on your PS4 and I'm like, hey, join my game, and I invite you to it, you don't even need to own the game. You can just play with me. That's huge.
I think that's awesome. Nintendo has had that. You made this point. Nintendo has had that functionality, and they just don't use it.
Yeah, there's only like 3 or 4 games in the entire Nintendo library I can think of that allows you to play like without owning the cartridge.
Yep.
I think that's huge. I love that. I liked the little things that they showed. Like, I loved the elephant who's explosion proof. He like headbutts the car explodes in this fiery gas cloud. The elephant's perfectly fine.
Yeah, I thought that was weird.
I loved when he was driving that little like shitty car, and like he got next to the van, like he hit the action button and like Indiana Jones style, he like pulls the passenger out, like knifes the driver in the throat, and he takes over driving the van, and his like car goes off the cliff.
Yeah, it was really cool. It made me. I have Far Cry 3 just like sitting on my computer. I've literally never played it.
What the hell are you doing?
I got it for free with
We're
my computer.
done with tonight.
I have to go
CJ
play.
has to go play Far Cry.
It's just sitting there.
That game was so good.
I have so many games to play. I think I told you about this. For some reason, I thought there was like some hunting aspect or like you had to survive, and I was like not.
Yeah,
interested
you thought
in
you
it
had
at
to
all.
drink water to survive.
Yeah, I was not interested in it at all. So now that I know you don't,
Yeah,
it'll take me another year to get to it, but I'll at least play it.
Here's speaking of not interested at all. The next game they showed was Dead Island 2.
Oh my god.
Dead Island 1 sucked. I don't care what anyone says. That game was a buggy nightmare mess. It's still a nightmare mess, but it's cleaner than it was when it launched. That game is terrible. 30-day beta on the PS4. Who cares? Let's move on. They didn't show any gameplay. It was just a dude walking down the street slowly turning into a zombie.
Yeah.
I could care less about that franchise.
Yep.
Burn me once, shame on them.
Yeah, that. It's just I couldn't care any less. It's
And that
actually
song,
impossible.
holy crap, that song in that trailer was awful.
After that was the Diablo 3. Was it like the Lost Souls edition or something?
Yeah, I don't know the exact
Some
title of
crazy
it.
edition name, but it has a special Last of Us like dungeon in it.
Yeah, it's Reaper of Souls just for the PS4. I think it looks like Diablo. Part of me really wants to get it just to play the Last of Us dungeon.
Oh
but
my
that's
god.
a $60 investment for a dungeon.
So Kyle will have that review.
Yep. Then they showed Battlefield Hardline trailer. We already talked about that, so we'll just like skimp over that. It looked good. Like I'm still really excited for it.
Yep.
Then they started a trailer with a dude in a robe, and he was just a sad wizard sitting in his house doing his day-to-day. He was unemployed. He was feeding his cat. He accidentally kills his cat. Like he's just like falling asleep on the couch. His like staff falls and like blasts his cat. His cat explodes all over the wall. Then he gets a newspaper article saying like wizards like needed for hire, blah blah blah. He gets all pumped. They reveal it's Magicka 2. I thought Magicka 2 looked really good.
Isn't the slogan for it like "Learn to spell again"?
Yeah, learn to spell again.
Which is like I like Magicka. First of all, let me get that out of the way before I say any of the things I'm about to say. I think Magicka is a really innovative series. I think the developers behind it are really into making it a better game constantly. I don't get how Magicka is going to work on a PS4. It makes no sense to me.
I was thinking about this after we talked about it, because we talked about how like Magicka's spells are really intensive.
Yeah.
It might actually work better, because I feel like my fingers just know like the geometry of the controller better than the keyboard at this point, to where my problem with Magicka is like I'll be sitting there and I'll be like, okay, I need to do like Ice Lightning, Ice Arcane to do this spell.
Right.
And like I'll get half of it and then I'll just like flub the last part and I'll be like, oh, like I hurt myself, what the hell? But I feel like on the controller I'm way more accurate with knowing like this is where like these are where these buttons are, because there's so few of them, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely, if that's. I'm interested in seeing it.
That's just my thought.
I'm interested in seeing it. I'm not giving up on it or anything.
So then they had like all these like fan letters that they were talking about, and then so one of the fan letters was from a 12-year-old girl named Stacy who talked about how she wants to play games from like back before she was alive, because she's a young girl, and she wishes that games like the games Tim Schafer made would come to the new generation, and the only way to get those games is to pirate them, and that's wrong. And at the bottom of the letter it says, "Thank you, Stacy, age 10." And the guy's like, wait a minute, she said she was 12, now she's 10. What's this thumbprint doing down here? He's got a beard. Oh, it's Tim Schafer. I thought
So dumb.
I actually really liked that segment.
I thought it was I thought it was dumb. It was funny, but it was dumb. It's just one of those things. There's nothing wrong with being dumb.
It went on a little longer than I wanted it to, but I really liked it because I think I just like love Tim Schafer.
It was when they were like, I had lost it by the point they were like, she wants to play games like the games Tim Schafer made. Like when they specifically name checked Tim Schafer, I was like, okay, this is clearly like someone's kid wrote this or something. Like
now, I was super worried that they were going to announce Monkey Island for the PS4 because I was like, I love that game. Like, don't get me wrong, but I've played it on so many consoles at this point
exactly.
that I didn't want that to be the announcement. When they said Grim Fandango, that crowd, like, I think like everyone stood up. That crowd went nuts. The only other game I would have rather seen than Grim Fandango was Day of the Tentacle.
Oh man, yeah, that would have been sweet.
But I'm fine with Grim Fandango.
Grim Fandango, I'll take.
Super pumped for a remake of that. That's coming to PS4 and the Vita. It's not officially exclusive, but I think it is.
I'm pretty sure it'll be exclusive.
Yeah.
I hope it's cross-buy or cross-play. Definitely at least cross-buy where I only buy it on like one.
That's their new thing is that cross-buy stuff. So hopefully.
Not new enough because I have Final Fantasy X and X-2 on both consoles.
Yeah,
so. That
might be a Square thing though.
I don't know. I don't appreciate it though. I'll tell you that much.
So after that, Suda51, they said his name, and this is another like same with the Platinum. I was texting people like, "Yep, just gonna buy this, like no questions asked." Let It Die. It looks weird, but I don't expect anything less from Suda.
Yeah, I mean he makes weird games.
Yeah. Killer is Dead is still in my backlog. I've played maybe 2 hours of it. I've been doing the recording for Shadows of the Damned to try and get that up on our channel. I love his style. Like
I still have to give No More Heroes.
Yeah,
a
you
shot.
definitely have to play. No More Heroes is really good.
I've heard only good things. I liked. He made a game for GameCube.
Killer 7.
Killer 7. Yeah. That game was awesome.
Yep, he's really good. His Grasshopper Studios is really really talented. Then they showed Abzu.
Yeah, that looked like
cool.
exactly. It looked like it came from the people that made Journey, and that's because it came from the people that made Journey.
Yeah. Then they showed No Man's Sky, and they showed a lot of gameplay.
Awesome.
They showed a lot of gameplay for it. I don't think this game is possible. This is another Division, I
don't get
pipe dream. I don't get how this studio is gonna pull this game off. I want it so bad. I want this game now. I don't see this being pulled off. It's way too vast.
I don't know. I don't know what the point of the game is. In terms of
exploration.
Yeah, like if that's the only thing, like I'm still fine with it.
Yeah. I just need someone to just start throwing money at them and hiring new people and like just getting this code written because I want this game really bad. This is like Star Citizen. Like I don't understand it. I just want it.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Then they showed Mortal Kombat X, and this is where I started to be like, well, okay, actually, after No Man's Sky, I thought the conference was over because they said this is our last game, and then they did their whole like, now we're going to talk about PR stuff where we're going to announce numbers, and we're going to talk about how good like PSN is doing. They said like 95% of customers are connected to PSN,
which is crazy.
Yeah. They talked about Project Morpheus really quick, which is their headset thingy. They talked about how good the camera was and how they did not see that thing selling, and that's why they're sold out everywhere and no one can buy it because they just didn't anticipate that would take off like it did. They talked about the PlayStation Now streaming games. Open beta starts July 31st for PS4. PS3 starts later, I think. They announced the Sony TVs for America, which I think is really good for people who don't have the console. It's just $99, and like you can do Sony Now through that.
I'm really interested in seeing Sony now work.
Yeah, I am too. They showed Sony the new comic show called Powers, which I'm not a huge comic guy. I know some comics, but I'm not like I don't know this comic, and it's a TV show.
Brian Michael Bendis came out to
That's who
talk
the
about
fancy
this.
man was.
The fancy man.
I don't know who he was.
People in the audience were not super into it, which I thought was weird. But a quick rundown of what Powers is, just in the simplest terms, is it's two homicide detectives who investigate like cases that involve people with like superpowers.
Cool.
That they refer to them as powers. That's the name. That's like the generic term for people with superpowers. It's a really. I couldn't recommend the series enough. It was originally a series in Image, and then went to Marvel Comics. If anyone likes comic books that's watching this, I definitely recommend it. It's a really unique title. The writer really shines through when he doesn't have to follow things that are set out for him already, like in comic books where if you're writing Spider-Man, you have to follow rules, etc., etc. I'm really excited for the show.
Yeah, and the show is free for all PS Plus users.
Yep.
So that'll be really cool.
I think that this could be a big chance for Sony to
really have some like original content.
get their foot in the door. Netflix and Amazon have both shown that there is a market in creating your own content like that.
Indie TV shows.
Yep, indie TV.
Then they showed the Ratchet and Clank movie trailer, which I thought looked really good.
Yeah, I'm weirdly excited for the Ratchet and Clank trailer.
Yeah, I mean they're good storytellers, so I'm excited for that.
Yeah, Insomniac is just they're cool. They're cool dudes.
So then they showed Mortal Kombat X, and that's when I couldn't. They went from like it like kind of dulled down because they were talking about all the like investor stuff, and then they were like, and now here's a game for Kyle that he doesn't care about at all.
It looks.
It looks like they took
looks like
Mortal Kombat 9, mushed Injustice into it, and was just like, yeah, we didn't work on this.
Yeah,
There you go.
that is pretty much their MO.
Yeah, it didn't look any different from 9 except for the Injustice like environment damage. I thought the new characters kind of looked really silly. The like midget riding the big fat guy and then the bug girl. I wasn't into it. Like, I'm not a Mortal Kombat guy. I don't like block buttons.
Block buttons are the best invention in fighting games.
Then they did a free-to-play game montage on PS4 where they showed a bunch of free-to-play games. They announced that like 24 free-to-play games were coming by the end of the year.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
Free-to-play is... It's so hard to do right. When you do it right, it's really...
A bunch of those games they showed were already like available for like PC and stuff, so...
Yeah.
Like, they already have like followings.
Yep.
Then they showed the Last of Us remastered trailer. I liked when they first showed it. It had a giant like there will be spoilers, like just to warn everyone. Like this is a game that's already out, so we're gonna be breaking spoilers here.
Yeah, exactly. I thought that was not nice of them, but
yeah,
I thought it was a really like frank way to deal with it. Be like, yep. Like, there's going to be spoilers. The game exists.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to buy it. I traded in my copy towards it because I want to see it in HD. I loved that game, and if I'm going to play it better, like, I want to play it better.
Yeah.
So that was that got me back into the mood of, like, okay, let's see some stuff. And then they just completely killed it for me with Metal Gear Solid, The Phantom Pain. I showed the trailer when we opened the show. It's like a 5-minute long trailer. It has a kick-ass song by Mike Oldfield called Nuclear. Watch, if you're a Metal Gear fan and you haven't seen this trailer, you've done something wrong in your life right now. This game looks so good. Like, I wanted to cry during this trailer. I was just so happy. This is my favorite game franchise, like, of all time. I could not be more excited to see more of this game.
Yeah, I agree. 100%.
I just like we could have a whole show just talking about Metal Gear lore.
Probably should someday.
Yeah. So after like my tears, like I wiped them away. They showed GTA 5 coming to PS4, Xbox One, and PC. I kind of wanted to get it on PS. Like when they announced it, they only said PS4, and I was like, I'm trading my copy in now. I will play through that game again on the PS4, just like Last of Us.
Yeah.
And then, B Pants from Space Camp came in and was just like, "Hey, I know I'm in this like circular like space training
I know I'm
machine,
in this G-force
but I just heard that it's also coming to PC at the same time." And I was like, "Well, now I'm gonna get it on PC because I want mods for it.
Yeah.
And if I'm gonna buy it a second time, I'm gonna buy it for mods."
Yep. 100%.
So that's coming this year. They said fall. I don't remember if they had a date.
I didn't see a date.
They also said that you could transfer progress from other consoles, and I have no clue how that's going to work or if I even believe that.
Did they
point.
specifically say you could transfer progress from PS4
This was the first
from PS3 and Xbox 360?
Or
did they just say other consoles?
No. This was the first time I think that Sony said the words Xbox on stage because they said Xbox 360.
God, yeah, it just I don't get it. I don't get how
I don't get how that works either. But they said it, so I believe it. Then they showed Minecraft coming to PS Vita. Okay. Like,
yeah, cool. I
fine with
guess.
that.
Like, I don't know. Everyone pretty much knows I'm not a huge Minecraft guy, but
yeah. Then they showed Batman, which I went into this thinking like I don't give a care about this game. I liked Asylum. I did not like the other two. But this game looks massive in the scale of that map. Like that was insane. The height he fell, and like what you could see and traverse. And then he got in the Batmobile, and I was like, well, now I'm kind of interested in this game again.
yeah.
So we'll see. I might get that one.
If you don't, I will.
Okay.
So I'll tell you that much right now.
Did you play all three?
Yes. I'm
Okay.
in the middle of Origins currently.
How do you feel about them? Like, because I only liked Asylum. I played the other two, and I thought the worlds were big, but they crammed so much in them that they felt like this just cluster.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you're okay with not, they don't make a lot of changes gameplay wise, but they do it keeps getting bigger, the world, which is, I'm fine with that. I think that the gameplay is solid. So I don't think it needs a lot. Yeah. And I think that's great that it gives them the chance to just keep constantly expanding and expanding and expanding the Gotham world that you have.
Okay.
To the point where now there's, the Batmobile.
Okay. And then Sony ended it right. They ended it on Uncharted 4. I really liked the trailer. I thought it sounded really dark. The Uncharted games have always been like on the edge of being like a really dark storytelling to like kind of quirky and kind of silly. I felt this one like just they went like full like this looks really dark. The way he was talking to Sully and the way Sully was just like, yeah, one last time. Like everything sounded like, oh, something epic's gonna happen in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. I have played all of the Uncharted's. Like a bit of them. I've never beaten any of them, but they're
you need
all.
to do that.
I know. Yeah, I have them sitting here, just sitting under my TV.
You should do what I did.
The time.
Not too long ago. It was I think this year. I went through and I just was like, I'm just gonna platinum all of them like in a row. Like I got to platinum in 1, and then I went and did 2, and then 3 like back to back.
I'll probably try and stream it for everyone. Honestly, considering how little of all 3 I've played. Make it an event or something. I don't really know.
So that was Sony. I thought Sony did really well. A lot of people are hating on them for the investor bit, but Sony also went for an hour and 45 minutes, which was 15 minutes longer than even Xbox and 45 minutes longer than EA and Ubisoft. So I was okay with the investor bit since they went longer, and I felt they showed me more games that They showed me Metal Gear. Like, I guess that's what I'm really judging this on, is they showed me Metal Gear, and that's all That's all I wanted.
I'll tell you what I'm judging them on is that Ratchet and Clank is getting yet another remake for another console. That's now been on PS2.
Oh yeah, that was part of the
PS3,
Ratchet and Clank thing. Yeah, I
and
forgot about
PS4. That's bullshit.
They said
And I
though,
still don't have Crash Bandicoot.
they said though that it's gonna be PS4 like level graphics for Ratchet and Clank 1, which I'm sorry, but the Ratchet and Clank 1 HD remix was not like, I wasn't looking at that going like, holy hell, look at this game.
No, I mean, I'll believe that it's PS4 level graphics when I see it.
Right, I will too. They didn't show anything on it, but
That's a whole new game at that point.
yeah. That's
So-
what I was, when they said that, that's what got me excited for that.
Maybe they're making a new Ratchet and Clank game for PS4 and they can just import, like,
Yeah.
they can just use that engine and that's how they're going to get away with it.
Maybe.
But I don't know.
So, I liked Sony's, and then that was the end of day 1. Now we're on day.
Yeah.
Now we're on day 2.
So
Bright-
we have like
bright and early
10
in the
minutes
morning.
left.
Yeah, we can blast through this.
Yeah, so let's run through Nintendo's really, really quickly. Not that there's a lot to get through.
Yeah. So Nintendo starts their conference with a Robot Chicken sketch that I just
Hilarious.
wanted to. I really don't like
So-
that show.
So funny.
I could not handle it. I wanted to turn the stream off immediately. I was just like, why?
I spit milk out of my nose at my desk.
So then they go to Reggie fighting Iwata in real time.
What's
That-
his Reggie who?
I don't know Reggie's last name. Iwata's the other guy.
I love getting people to say Reggie's last name. It's like it's my hobby.
So that cuts to Smash Brothers, which obviously is what they were going to open with. Then they announced 3 new characters. They announced the Mii Brawler, the Mii Swordsman, and the Mii Gunner. You can make
So-
your own Mii characters, and they kind of swiveled their way into having 3 separate announced characters.
Well, they're all like fully customizable.
Yeah, I
like
couldn't
your
care.
Mii character is totally
Yeah.
out of yeah.
Yeah, they showed me Ice-T and me Elijah Wood, the
Yeah.
2 top celebrities at our time right now. That that faded into them talking about Amiibo, which is their Skylanders figures, but it's different than Skylanders because it works with multiple games.
Yeah.
They announced that. So the figures you can buy, and then you put them on your little tablet, whoop whoop device, it's like, whoop, and it reads it, and then it does stuff for you in game. They announced that Smash Brothers was the first game to use it when it launches, but they
I will
also
say-
said that Mario Kart uses it too.
Yeah, I don't know how that's gonna work.
Yeah, I don't either.
I will say that I'm a sucker for these things. I have some of the Disney ones. I'm just gonna grab one really quick to show everyone. Let's get a good one. I have the Disney ones, and you can see the quality on them is, pretty nice for like a $6 figure or $14 figure, however much it is. And Nintendo's looked even better than that.
Yeah.
So I'm not super down on the idea. I made a joke about it. I want to say like last year at this point. I was like, oh, I don't understand why Nintendo just doesn't announce it as like Super Smash Brothers Collector and it's this, and then they come out and do this and
Yep.
make me look like a fool.
Yeah.
So
I don't
that's
like
the
the
last
name
time.
Amiibo.
Yeah, I think it's dumb. I think it's a stupid name.
Like Nintendo collectible figure is a better name than
Yeah, right. I like the idea that it saves stuff into the figure though, so like I could bring it places and do things
Yeah.
with it. I think it's cool as long as they're reasonably priced. I'm fine with it because
Yeah.
I love paying money for things.
Yeah. Then they showed Yoshi Woolly World. They did like a developer story where they like kind of talked about how they've developed the game. This was the first game that they showed that I was interested in because I really liked the art style for Kirby's Epic Yarn. I thought the game was way too easy, but it was more for like a kid's game. This game looks like it's a little bit more challenging. It definitely looks better than Kirby's Epic Yarn. I'll probably buy this game.
I'm glad you're gonna buy it because I'm not.
Yeah.
I saw Captain Toad Treasure Tracker
God.
was after that. I saw some gameplay from that today before we started Frameloss.
Were you
and,
playing Super Mario 3D Land? Or
I wasn't, surprisingly. It looked like a lot of fun, though. It looked quick and easy.
See,
it looks like a downloadable title. If that's like a full $60
I think it's a full title. Here's the thing. Those little maps, that's exactly what the game was in Super Mario 3D.
Yeah.
Like you'd find Captain Toad, and then you'd do that little like square map, and like then you'd be off on your way, and you'd go back to doing Mario stuff. Now they're making a whole game just around those little tiny square maps. You're right. If it's a $60 game, that's kind of offensive.
Yeah, but if that's downloadable for like $20 or $30, yeah, cool.
Yeah. Then what I really cared about was they showed the Legend of Zelda trailer.
Oh, this game looks so good.
Yeah. If I wasn't already planning on buying a Wii U for a very specific game that's coming up in a little bit, this game would have got me to buy one. The world looks massive and beautiful. Like
the art style
love
is gorgeous.
The art style for this
yeah,
game.
I haven't liked an art style this much since Wind Waker.
Yeah, I thought this game looked incredible. They didn't show they didn't show a lot of this at all, but what they did show was really memorable, and you should definitely check it out if you're a Zelda fan. That's the thing. Like, people are saying that that's not Link, and it's another character, like the character who shoots the bow at everybody.
What?
And that's a new character, like somewhat like Wind Waker.
Wait. What do you mean, someone like Wind Waker? That was Link.
No, it wasn't Link. That was just you were a nameless hero, basically.
Oh, okay. I don't know about that.
Based off in Wind Waker, you were a nameless hero who was prophesized to be like Link.
Oh, but I named him Link.
Okay, well, I mean, then he was your Link.
Right.
Yep.
I don't know if I buy into that. I mean, I understand
I don't know. I think it looks different enough where it couldn't be Link.
The Legend of Zelda timeline is like so effed up as it is.
Oh yeah, it's really.
So I get why they have to do stuff like be like, oh no, that's not Link. That's just some guy that is almost Link. But for all intents and purposes, in my mind, every hero of the Legend of Zelda games is a version of Link. So.
Yeah. Then they showed their one and only 3DS game, which was Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire.
A remake.
Yeah. They didn't talk about the game at all. They just showed gameplay. They had little footnotes at the bottom while the game was playing that said like some areas in 2D, some in 3D. Like make sure as a parent you turn 3D off for ages 6 and under. Like, just really weird. Like,
yeah,
I wasn't feeling that.
After that
do you care at all for those two games?
No, I mean, I'm sure I'll get them. Pokemon is Pokemon. I have to go back and get either Heart Gold or Soul Silver or whatever before I can play this one. Obviously, I mean, the story it is what it is. It's a Pokemon game. I'll buy it for like $20 if it's around.
Then the game that mattered was announced
with the whiniest, with the babiest developer ever.
You won't get over that.
He won't get over that.
Bayonetta 2, they showed a really nice trailer for that. They didn't really show a lot of gameplay. They also announced that it will come with Bayonetta 1, which I know they talked about before, but it was never confirmed until today.
I'm happy about that because as much crap as I give Bayonetta 1, I definitely did not ever play it. It looked like a generic hack and slash, so I'll go back and try.
That sentence is so offensive.
That's what it looked like.
It's the least generic hack and slash.
But that's what it looked like.
It should, like, every hack and slash game should look at that game and be like, if we're not better than this, then we're like, what are we doing? Because that should be the standard now.
I mean, do you have it?
Yeah.
On what?
PS3.
I'll play it after the show.
Okay.
I don't give a shice.
So there was that. They also showed her in a Princess Peach, Link, and Samus costume, which I'm fine with that.
Yeah, cool. Bonus stuff for
and they also announced that it's coming out in October. That pissed me off because they didn't give a date, so who knows if October's right. They're just being safe, not giving a date. Second, why October? Every game this holiday is coming out in that month. I'm going to be so broke that month. October is going to be a nightmare.
Yeah, I feel like we had this problem when March.
Yeah, March was bad.
So I don't know why March and October are the months for games, but it sucks. It just flat out sucks. I work at a job where I don't make hundreds of thousands of dollars, so I can't afford all of these things.
Okay, we're gonna blast through a couple of these real quick. They showed Hyrule Warriors.
Looks good.
It's Dynasty Warriors. I played that on PS1, and the game hasn't changed since.
I will say this is better than Dynasty Warriors because it's a new story.
I guess. I mean, so was Gundam, but that didn't make the Gundam one really good either.
Don't tell that to John Bodette.
Yeah. Then they showed Kirby and the Rainbow Curse, which some people were saying was out.
I give it a thumbs middle.
Yeah. Then they showed Xenoblade Chronicles, which they didn't show any gameplay. It was just a cinematic trailer. They didn't talk about it at all. A lot of these games they didn't talk about.
Yeah.
Then they showed Mario Maker, which was interesting, but
$10 downloadable content.
Yeah, and it's going to put all the ROM hack creators on the Let's Play communities out of a job.
Yep.
Because now everyone can make their own ROM hacks and then just Let's Play their own game. Oh my, I didn't even... Dude, we're starting our...
Nintendo shuts down the...
Yeah, that's how Nintendo does it. So, now we're going to talk about Splatoon. Splatoon, I thought, looked really good for a new IP. Nintendo's not good at making new IPs. I don't know if it's actually Nintendo making it.
Oh, here we go. First, I have to put up with you complaining about the fact that Nintendo never does anything new. And then now that Nintendo's doing something new, I got to hear about how they're so bad at it.
I don't know. No. I thought Splatoon looked awesome. I don't know if this is Nintendo development.
Okay. All right.
It's an 8-player 4v4 arena-style game where you spray like ink all over this map, and like their whole goal is to cover the map in ink and take the other player's base. You start off as a human like in the map, and you spray in ink. You can seamlessly turn into a squid and like dive into where you sprayed the ink and move super fast across the map, like while your teammates are spraying more ink.
It looks really weird in a good way.
The ink splatters and everything look beautiful. There's multiple weapons that all shoot ink different ways. There was even an ink nuke at the end where it just like blasted the area with ink. If you touch the enemy's ink, you move super slow, so you want to like, if you're in that area, you want to spray it down, put your own down. It looked like a really fun game for a Nintendo title, if it is a Nintendo title.
Yeah, it looks weird. In a good way.
Yeah, that's definitely one I will pick up because it looks really fun and I like PvP.
After that, they did Star Fox real quick.
Slow down. After that, they cut to Miyamoto and a blurry monitor where you could vaguely make out that there was a spaceship flying around, and the internet lost its fucking
Everyone
mind.
else knew it was an R-Wing.
Such bullshit. Everyone is freaking out about this announcement. They didn't announce anything. It was a blurry, barely visible monitor.
That counts.
And he didn't even mention it. He was just like, "Oh, I'm Miyamoto. I like doing things. Here's my controller." Burp, burp.
He was like, "Oh, should I go to Star Fox?"
No, he didn't say Star Fox.
Yep, absolutely did.
It was
in my mind.
The amount that the internet freaked out about this was way overdone because you saw nothing.
It doesn't matter if we saw nothing. We're getting a new Star Fox game. That's what's important.
Who knows when?
Who cares when?
That's the
as
other
long
thing.
As it happens.
That's the other thing. Almost everything they showed is all next year.
Yeah, well, I mean, they had to spend a whole year making no money first.
Yeah. Also, okay, so that's when the Nintendo thing ended. For some reason, if you were still watching, like after they announced that it was over, they cut to these two people on in a booth that were like, "Hey, thank you for watching the Nintendo thing," and then apparently they just kept announcing games. Why?
I don't know.
Tell everyone goodbye and then be like, "Oh, now we're going to show you." This is what they showed. They showed Devil's Third, which looked really cool.
I didn't even see it.
They showed Fantasy Life. They showed a bunch of eShop games. They showed the Mario Party 10 trailer. I would think that would be in their main conference.
Yeah.
That's one of their flagship titles, even though I don't understand why.
It's Hate Your Friends, the video game.
Yeah. They showed Mario versus Donkey Kong.
Still don't know why he gets invited to all these events.
Why wasn't that on their main conference? They showed the Art Academy trailer, and then they showed Lego Batman 3 Beyond Gotham, which I could have sworn I watched like a month ago.
Yeah, you definitely did. I'm really excited for Lego Batman 3 because I love Lego games and I'm a sucker for the same game over and over like that.
Yeah.
Super weird to just throw it in at the end.
Yeah. Why not have these in your actual conference? Especially since the conference was only 45 minutes long.
Yep.
I didn't get it.
Well, they only could afford 45 minutes of time.
I stopped watching and I went back to work. And then all of a sudden, like, I was getting all these messages like, "Oh my god, this is announced. Oh my god, Star Fox." And I was like, "None of this happened. What did I miss?"
You missed Star Fox.
I mean, I didn't miss Star Fox. I saw Miyamoto go whoop 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 with a controller and
That
a
counts.
blurry field behind him with a vague spaceship on it.
That counts.
It doesn't. I don't know. I thought Nintendo was pretty weak. I definitely they showed 3 games that I am definitely getting that I didn't know about before.
Yeah, I would agree.
So at least they did that, I guess.
I didn't know about Legend of Zelda. I'm definitely gonna get Bayonetta. Hyrule Warriors, I'll probably end up getting once it's cheap. You know, there was some bright spots.
Woolly World, Zelda, Splatoon.
Splatoon
I already knew about Bayonetta.
I knew about Bayonetta. I just didn't know I was gonna get it until they announced that it came with Bayonetta 1.
Yeah. So that was E3 this year.
Yeah, I thought it was good. Thought it was a good show.
Yeah, they definitely did their job. They got me pumped for having the new consoles.
Yep.
Which I mean, I have all of them anyway, but I'm now
Not
there's
the
a
Wii U.
reason why I haven't.
Not the Wii U, Kyle.
Wait, I'm waiting for Bayonetta.
Never the Wii U.
Bayonetta. So thank
All
you
right,
guys.
guys.
So I think we've determined that Wednesday is the new day for our show. That gives us a day to play a new game when it comes out on Tuesday, and then we can kind of talk about it, and then we'll review it the following week.
Yep.
It's in the middle of the week, so it kind of breaks up your week. So it's like, hey, you can take a break, watch Frameloss.
We're basically the perfect time slot for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, we're the best for you.
We
Should probably do nothing but us.
Yeah, Frameloss for life.
Yep. Thank you guys for watching our 2-hour E3 special. Follow us on YouTube. All that stuff is down there. Look at it. It's pretty. I'm going to make new graphics. I also need to make a new outro because we still have the old one and it's really bad because there's a lot of nothing in it. Thank you for watching. This is Frameloss Episode 11. Bye.
Bye, guys. Good game.